Hey, welcome to it. It's Altitude After Dark with DMac. Mike Sanford will join me. We just got done doing the TV show, and now it's time for the digital show where we can talk to you and get your reaction to everything. We're brought to you by our great friends at Journey Spice. So if you want to really celebrate the Broncos victory, make sure you go to Journey Spice and you can use this QR code. And when you do so, you'll save it saves 10% using the code Get Spicy. That's Get Spicy. It's organic. It's Andin and Rosa. It's locally owned and operated. We love Journey Spice. So if you like what we do here and you want to get a great Christmas present for your friends on any meal, Journey Spice goes incredible. And then go to their website, go to Amazon.com, and then you can pick out the flavors that match whatever you're doing the best. Thank you to Journey Spice. Okay. What a game by the Broncos. Obviously, that was maybe even unsettling for a lot of people, but I'm just flat out fired up. And we'll get into the details with Mike Sanford here in a second. But let me just get to your reactions, in all honesty. And maybe we can take it like that, and I can tell you what Sean had to say and what Bo had to say, Nick Benito, what they had to say. 10-2, baby. Let's go Broncos country. That's something to really keep in mind. They won 10 games last year. It clinches a spot in the playoffs. You're not going to not get to the playoffs now. I mean, I know it's kind of a no-duh sort of moment. Sean Payton compared winning 9 games in a row to winning like 45 straight baseball games. I mean, it's that kind of streak, which is probably an apt and pretty funny comparison. If one NFL game is the equivalent of 5 baseball games, they have won 45 games in a row and now stand atop. You know what? Let me look this up real quick too, because I do believe they have the tiebreaker with the Patriots, and they do have the same record. Let's go playoffs. Yeah. So the wins the tiebreaker. The Broncos win the tiebreaker over New England based on best win percentage in common games. Whew. Okay. How about that for you? So they are in first place right now, and let's hope the Patriots can lose to the Giants tomorrow night. There are some wacky things going on in the NFL. You never know. I never felt good about this game had you listened to the radio show or DMac's Mac. And at the end of the day, I did predict the Broncos would win 26-16 because I was just like, man. And it was looking like it was going in that direction. I mean, it's 20-17. The Broncos had the ball. It's like, I'm going to be pretty close to my prediction. And, they couldn't produce when they need to produce in those situations. And then certainly after a tremendous drive in overtime, just a fabulous drive by Bo Nix in overtime and the Broncos, you're like, well, certainly our defense is going to stand up here, right? You're going to get that sack, the fumble, the interception. And then you got penalties, Hufunga and some completions that just, what's going on here. And then, McLaurin and Deebo Samuel and Riley Moss. And, you're just like, oh my God. Sean Payton did say that they did call a timeout on the 2-point conversion, and they went from zone coverage to zero coverage. They knew somebody would be breaking free. They didn't know exactly who it was going to be, but it was Nick Benito, who's had a thumb issue. He has a club on, and he got it with his club, making a game-saving play. I think it's a walk-in touchdown if Mariota is able to get the ball beyond Nick Benito. So one hell of a play by Nick Benito. Benito also gets his 10th sack of the year, and he said he was pretty happy about that. Bo Nix said it's a special group, that they all love each other, and he's proud to be their quarterback. And Sean Payton talked on and on and on about how when you're having a special season, and look it up, y'all, in 2009 when they were having a special season with the Saints, you would be able to figure out how to win games like that. He had a snarky moment with Luka Evans. I'm going to wait till Coach is on with us to play that, but so stick around for that if you want to. So overall, Bo, 29-45 for 321, a touchdown and interception, only sacked one time, quarterback rating of 83.7. Marcus Mariota, 28 of 50 for 294 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, only sacked twice. And as they were showing on TV, the pressure ratio was amongst the least in the NFL, period. So Washington had a plan to get rid of the ball quickly and not let the Broncos defense do a number on them. And they executed that for them really, really well. For those that are frustrated, the Broncos didn't run the ball more. Sean Payton explained it's just what their defense was giving. They were in heavy personnel the vast majority of the game. They were just giving the Broncos different looks. And it was looks to say, you're not going to beat us with the run. And I get that. They had been destroyed by the Lions. Miami even gashed them, even though they didn't put up many points against Washington. So Washington was just like, if you're going to beat us, you're going to have to beat us with Bo. And like Evan Engram, who had probably his best game as a Bronco, 6 for 79 yards on 9 targets, 41-yard pass for his long, didn't get in the end zone, but probably Evan Engram's best game. So that's what was open, and that's what they used. And scoring 27 points, is great. It's great. And getting a win is incredible. All right, let me get to some of your more comments. I am going to get to your comments in just a second. I can see people are piling in, which is awesome. So let me work a little bit backwards. Broncos are number 1 in sacks, and sacks allowed. That's wild. True. 10-2, baby. Yeah, celebrate this win. Sean Payton said afterwards they have a smoke machine, so they used it. They're celebrating their win. They're not hanging their heads about a win. DMac, do their teams have the ability to do what was say again, RJ? Do their teams have the ability to do what was did tonight with quick releases? Oh, do other teams have that ability? I think that's what you're meaning. Yeah, possibly. But not many teams that the Broncos face are going to have quarterbacks with the escapability and running ability as Marcus Mariota. They're not. It's the one thing that he does, and he's a strong guy. So he's very nimble. He's very strong. And most teams that they face, the Raiders don't have that. The Jags, the Chiefs don't have that. The Chargers don't have it. And who knows what's going on with Justin Herbert. The Trevor Lawrence, kind of has that. Jordan Love kind of has that, but not like Mariota. 10 rushes for 55 yards, along of 19. And every time it seemed that he ran the ball, it meant something. It wasn't just running the ball. He only took 2 sacks. And it was his ability to escape. Like when he got the pass off, that was the PI on Hufanga. He should have been sacked. He should have been taken down. Most quarterbacks are going down in that situation. So there are some good things to Marcus Mariota. And he probably played one of his he had a good game, a really good game today. He almost threw for 300 yards. Threw the ball 50 times, which is wild. Let's go here. Shame about the pick. Bo otherwise had a nice game. I thought Bo had a great game. The interception sucked. Yeah, I'm not going to polish that one. That blew. But Sean Payton liked his game. His teammates liked his game. I liked his game. You're not going to score every time. You're going to have a 3-and-out here and there. But, for everybody screaming about, just calm down about the whole run the ball thing, man. And Coach Sanford is joining us here. So there he is. I just went through, Coach, some of the stats, some of the reaction, and I saved Sean ripping on Luka Evans for you. So you just let me know when you would like to hear that. And I got it on my phone, so I have to jerry-rig it a little bit. I'll figure it out, though. Your thoughts about the game itself, my friend. Let's go.
It's hard to win NFL games on the road, period, point blank. And you did it again in prime time. I thought today was actually one of Sean Payton's best play calling performances. Adjustments in game. Saw and read the fact that the Dan Quinn-led defense for the Commanders wanted to stop any attempt at running the football. And frankly, the 2.7 yards per carry for RJ Harvey, it was enough for Sean Payton to realize this might have to be a 321-yard passing night for Bo Nix. And Bo Nix responded. It wasn't all even. There were some missed throws. There were some misconnections early on, even kind of middle of the third quarter. You say, Bo, is he going to just have another kind of stinker off night? He just kept on responding, didn't allow the terrible interception to snowball into another bad play. And that's proven to be what Bo Nix is so dang good at, probably better than any physical attribute about him. It's what is between his ears, and that's his mettle, his grit, and then he just finds a way to just continue to put this team in position to win football games. He does it yet again. What way has Bo Nix not won a football game for the Denver Broncos?
The ability to be clutch and come from behind when it matters most is the most important quality that you could have as a quarterback. The end. Okay. There isn't something bigger than that or better than that. I don't care who you are. And I've seen them all come through this town. The ability to just, and I'll give you this, the confidence your teammates have in you to do that, critical, absolutely critical. And they have that with Bo. There's a calmness and a calm demeanor to him on the bench. Like, there were moments during the season where I think if this was earlier in the year, Coach, he would have been frustrated. You would have seen it. It would have been a little bit more emotion on the bench. It was very calm today, very calm. And I thought he was outstanding. I want to do some X's and O's with you, okay, just to understand the nature of this game. So when Sean Payton says they stayed in heavy personnel, we adjusted well when he's talking about running the ball. Okay, what's he saying in terms of why the Broncos were a little stymied running the ball and why they may have thrown it more than people are comfortable with?
Well, it's interesting because there was a game earlier in the season that what was one of the bigger stinkers that the Broncos have had? Raiders.
Oh, and yeah, okay. 10-7
so,
Thursday
and
night
I remember,
game. Yeah.
So the Denver Broncos start the game. We're talking offensive personnel. They start out in jumbo personnel, heavy personnel, and that's Frank Crum gets a start. The Wyoming Cowboy, the Wyoming native, right? The state of Wyoming's his own. Frank Crum actually starts as a jumbo tight end in addition to the 5 starting offensive linemen he's brought in. And I think also Troutman and, if I'm not mistaken, Ingram were in on that same play to start the game off. They run power. I mean, jumbo personnel power, have some success. And then the Broncos change personnel groupings. And what they notice is, like the Raiders game, that the defense didn't match the personnel grouping. So they kept their defensive heavy personnel out there. It'd be the equivalent of this. We always hear the word nickel, right? And we hear that the nickel for the Denver Broncos is either Jahdae Barron or Jaquan McMillan. Right. So when you have no jumbo personnel on the offense, so there's just one tight end or no tight ends, and it might be 3 receivers or 4 wide receivers, no fullback, definitely not a second tight end on the field. Typically 11 personnel means 1 running back, 1 tight end, or 10 personnel, which means 1 running back, 0 tight ends. That prompts modern NFL defenses to get into sub packages, which would be called the nickel package, or even in the case of the Broncos, sometimes they'll go dime, which means there's now 2 extra DBs. That's when both Barron and McMillan are on the field in addition to your 2 safeties and your 2 corners. What happened today would be the equivalent of instead of Jaquan McMillan or Jahdae Barron being on the field, Q Robinson would be that extra nickel player, that big Sam, if you will. And so when you keep that jumbo personnel, it tells you, hey, they're trying to stop the run. They're trying to keep their edges set, and they don't want the big Q Robinson body type to be in space. So guess what? We got to throw the football. And that's exactly what Sean Payton did. And I thought this was Sean Payton's by far his best game. And I laughed. I was looking at my wife and I said, Sean Payton's got this propensity for having his best moments as a play caller, the more eyes are watching. It's always been the case, man. Monday Night Football games. Now, you can say that the stinker in London, maybe are there more people watching because I don't think so.
No,
and
probably
no. Thursday night stinker against the Raiders, I don't know. It was a windy day. But, man, Monday Night Football, Sean Payton's owned it. Think about the games at Buffalo against Josh Allen. We first started with Russell Wilson. It's the best Russell Wilson looked all year. And then against Kansas City again in a primetime game. That's when Sean Payton has his best, man. He was cooking.
All right, another X and O moment. The 2-point conversion. The Broncos called a timeout for a Kodak moment, okay? And they switched their defensive coverage. They went from zone to 0. talk and saying they knew somebody would have a free release on the quarterback. They weren't sure who it was going to be, ended up being Benito, but they knew if they went into that coverage, they would get pressure on Mariota. However, of course, that leaves probably somebody wide open in the end zone. But the reason they switched is they were confident that they were not going to call a running play for Mariota when they got a look at what they were doing offensively.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah, you nailed it. So what happened was the Washington Commanders, at least the very last play of the 2 points. So not the Kodak picture, but the very last one it started as an empty formation. There was no running back in the backfield. And so Talanoa Hufanga was lined up in man coverage over Jeremy McNichols, the running back that was lined up as the furthest outside receiver. That's a complete indicator that, hey, it's at least man coverage, probably cover zero. And it sure was. McNichols motions back inside. And Nick Benito, if they squeeze that line down. So what happens is offensive linemen will see cover zero. And they want to protect the inside of the pocket as opposed to being too concerned with the outside of the pocket, because the straightest or the fastest way to get from point A to point B, it's a straight line right down the middle of the center and the guard, right? So you make a squeeze call, which takes your tackles and your guards and protect the inside gaps from in between the center and guards, and then in between the guards and tackles. And ultimately it frees one guy. Now what I saw was the most significant decision is that technically in that coverage with that pressure look, when you free release a running back from the backfield and he's not blocking, Nick Benito's technically the guy's got to peel with him. Otherwise, so that means that Nick Benito's running, I'm blitzing, I'm going after the quarterback. Oh, wait, there goes the running back. I got to actually call off the dogs, pull the parachute, and go cover him. And Nick Benito said, I'm going to go point A to point B, put my big old fat juicy paw up, and I'm going to get that ball on the ground and the game for the Denver Broncos. And so he gave me the old Matumbo, man, and it was pretty cool.
Another thing, just analytically, coaching-wise, point-wise, game management-wise, Sean said if it was the fourth quarter, I might have gone for 2, but I had a feeling there were going to be a lot of points tonight. So in the third quarter, no, I'm just going to kick the extra point. You see where he's going there?
Yes, I can see where he's going there. I'm trying to remember the exact scenarios where. So what was the fourth quarter's score?
It was, the Broncos and Commanders both scored a touchdown in the third quarter. It was Washington who had 2 field goals in the fourth quarter and then 7-6.
Okay, so it was 20-14, was it not?
It was in the third quarter. Where are you taking me here?
Why
it was 20? It was 20-14. Yes.
That's obviously he wanted to go up. He wanted to go up 28-14. Obviously.
Yeah. Had he scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter, he said he would have gone for 2. But yeah. So all right. I see where you're going. When they made it it was 19-14. And he decided to go for 1 in the third rather than 2, because a lot of people were pointing out, but that was the wise move there.
Yeah, early on, don't put yourself in a position to chase points later.
Right. And so that's what he was going there.
Yeah, I think he played it perfectly, and if he would have scored a touchdown in the fourth quarter, you make it a 7-point game. That to me, that's not particularly advanced analytics.
All right, one more for you with coaching X's and O's. He said they were playing, Washington was playing some zone at the end of the second quarter, and you can find cavities in there. And praise Bo for what he did and making, this wild throw. I can put up here on the screen, at least a picture of it. This throw right here, Coach, where, I mean, look at that. That's a touchdown pass right there, everybody.
I tell you, hang that one in the Louvre there, DMac.
You like that one?
Yeah, that'd be, you know what? If that had been to win a Super Bowl, that'd be arguably the coolest statue outside of a stadium, and actually have the exact air underneath Bo Nix's right knee for how much is underneath. Wouldn't that be cool on a stadium to see that?
So cavities in a zone. What's he talking about there?
Well, I mean, so what I've seen with Bo Nix, and I thought that, certainly in college as well, Bo's really good in the quick game. And in the quick game where the ball's, punch plant, get the ball out of your hands. If you can identify a soft spot in a zone, whether it's a free access throw, meaning a corner or a nickel or a safety, or playing six or more yards off, you've got a slant, you've got a hitch, you've got a curl route. But even more than that, what I liked about Bo Nix, particularly end of second quarter, and then in the overtime, and he just checked the football down. His eyes were downfield. Dan Quinn, frankly, played scaredy cat defense. And that's what zone coverage is. It's the opposite of what Vance Joseph did on the very final play of the game. That's the exact opposite. That's the antithesis, is playing cover zero. And so zone coverage, man, I love it. When I see a team playing a ton of zone against Bo Nix, I'm like, it's going to be a 300-yard passing game.
Okay.
I think that his Achilles heel, until he decides to consistently take off and run the football, I think that his Achilles heel, and the Broncos, frankly, their Achilles heel is either match zones or press man coverage, because it forces you to do what we saw all training camp, DMac. What do the Denver Broncos do offensively or defensively? They play a ton of man coverage. And did we see the Broncos consistently move the football against the defense during training camp?
Nope.
We didn't.
Nope.
Let me ask you this. When did we see the Broncos move the ball in training camp against their own defense? It was one period every single day.
I did refresh my memory.
2 minute. It was always the 2 minute drill.
Oh, all right.
Because what do you see in the 2 minute drill? Zone coverage.
And then defensively, I mean, there was this moment right here, which, I mean, dude, seriously.
You realize that Treylon Burks was the number one pick. First round pick for the Titans.
Yeah.
Just 3 years ago.
Yeah. Didn't work out. They cut him.
And later on in this game, you could see why. Didn't he look terribly out of shape on that post route that was thrown down the field? I'm like, that dude looks like he's overweight and hasn't run in many years.
Our boy Riley Moss, who didn't have any PIs tonight, thank God.
He competed, man. He competed.
Yeah, man. How do you not love him? And respect Dre Greenlaw. And I thought Surtain actually was a tad rusty, but made some nice plays too. He hasn't played football in a long time.
Was not a great performance for this defense. It wasn't.
No.
The pass rush wasn't getting home like it just typically does, right?
No, it wasn't. But you got to give Dan Quinn and Cliff Kingsbury some credit.
No question.
They knew it, so they designed an entire offense to stay away from that.
Are either one of those guys all of a sudden coaching for their lives this year, or no? Or is the Jaden Daniels effect, the fact that he was out for a majority of, I'd say, what has it been, about half the games?
No, I think here's what happened. They Witt, who's the last guy, his name, I'm forgetting his first name. Witt is their defensive coordinator. He was calling the defensive plays.
Oh, Joe Witt.
Thank you. Joe Witt Jr. actually.
Yep.
It was an ugly. You got to go back. I can't believe this Washington team is the same team that played the Lions, okay? You want to see an ugly, and that was in Washington as well. And the Lions just destroyed them on the ground. They played much better against the Dolphins in Spain, but Mariota is prone. He's got a little Jameis Winston in him. You know what I'm saying? Like he's doing great, and then he'll just do something incredibly stupid. And I kept waiting for that to happen at the end of regulation and in overtime, and it actually didn't. And in fact,
I mean, the only play that Marcus Mariota, you could see it on his face, that Mariota moment, if you will, of not necessarily stupidity, but we'll call it of squandered opportunities, which is defined his NFL career, was you got to pump fake Nick Bonito, get him to jump, and then find a throwing surface, and that's one of those next level plays. Let's be honest, who would make that play?
Baker Mayfield.
League?
Baker Mayfield would make that play.
100%. Who's made that play with so much regularity over the last decade?
Aaron Rodgers would make that play. Is that where you're going?
It's Mahomes, man.
Mahomes would make that play. Yeah, a lot of
change the arm slot, change the arm angle. He just threw it like it's a normal, like it was just like throwing routes on air in practice, and there's not even a defender that's hunkering down on me. That was a big mistake.
We'll give you Luca Evans. My name is Luca. Evan. There's always got to be something, bro. And we'll give you that moment and get some more of your reaction and what's next for the Broncos after this word for Journey Spice.
There's a world of flavor out there, and to find it, you have to take the journey. Journey Spice Company handcrafts the most premium spice and seasoning blends that have no sugar, no salt, are certified USDA organic, non-GMO, vegan-friendly, and always planet-friendly. You are going to love serving amazingly delicious creations while knowing you helped reduce single-use plastics. Make sure to search for Journey Spice Company on Amazon today.
Butcher, what do you love about Journey Spice?
I love what it did for my Thanksgiving. I'll tell you that.
Talk to me.
Oh man, some of the various concoctions that my wife was able to conjure up, both with our stuffing had all kinds of Journey Spice action in it. And I just could taste it, man. I think she went Mediterranean actually for the stuffing, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And then the turkey, I think we threw a little sprinkle of the za'atar and kind of brought about a little Middle Eastern flavor in honor of my brother-in-law that was born in Kuwait. So it was perfect. It was awesome.
Yeah, man. We love Journey Spice and Rose. It's a local company doing a great job. And you can save 10% using the code GetSpicy at Amazon.com. It's been scrolling under here the entire time. So just go and support. If you like this show, support our friends at Journey Spice. All right, you ready for Luca? And I gotta do this on a oh boy. All right. Okay, it's gonna take me a second just to cue it up here, my friend. But I'll get it.
Went from one pressure to another.
Okay, here we go. We'll get a little Sean here.
That we had was a zone call. We quick called a timeout, and then Vance and his staff did a great job of coming up, with the correct call. It's obviously the correct call when it works, but there's going to be a free rusher if you pressure the way we did, and you don't know like who's going to be the free rusher because the protection might.
Some explanation here.
So they left Nick free, and the timing and everything was great.
Here it comes.
Talking about it this week, but at this point, is the one seed realistic in your mind?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the silliest question of the night. I mean, it's the silliest question of the night. We're competing for it, but certainly we respect the other teams in our conference, but certainly we're competing for it.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
All right, all good.
It's always capped with it. All good. All good.
It doesn't end with him and Luca. It doesn't end.
He loves all good, doesn't he?
All good. Or perfect.
All good.
Perfect. That's the other key one. So Luca, if you couldn't hear him, are you still competing for the number one seed? And all right, I mean, that's not the greatest question in the world. I mean, no offense to Luca, I've heard better. But there's, you got to understand the whole thing,
Is that crystal clear?
Yep. My name's Luca. Also.
Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Oh my God.
So we had that.
So did Luca ask him the exact quote? Was it that, are you still competing for the one seed?
Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
Or does this?
Yeah, you want me to go back? Hold on.
Yeah, I want to hear it again.
Okay.
I mean,
hold on.
it's the silliest question of the night.
Okay, I'm just stuck on it's the silliest question of the night. Hold on.
Yeah. I mean, it's the silliest question of the
night. All right.
Are you silly?
Oh shoot! Hold on.
So they left Nick free.
All right, so we gotta go through this a little bit.
Okay.
You
the
can
timing
hear that,
and everything
right?
was great.
Perfectly.
This week, but at this point, is the one seed realistic in your mind?
Well, yeah.
Okay, is the one seed realistic in your mind? That's what he said. So after this week, is the one seed realistic in your mind?
So would that be, because I love Luca because he asks hard questions, and I think he's got enough of a glitch that he doesn't care what comes out on the other end of it.
I gotta say too, because I was writing down the questions. That had to be like the 20th question of the press conference. I mean, everything, more or less everything was framed and said.
Do we know if Luke had asked a question prior to that in this press conference?
That's a good one. I'm not completely sure, but he saved that
Because,
beauty for the end.
Like I think the question could have been worded after tonight's victory. Is the confidence level higher in getting the 1 seed? Even then, though, it's like,
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, sure. I guess.
Listen, I'm not telling anybody. You can ask whatever questions you want.
Do you think the heart of the question is that you didn't particularly play well against a 3-9 football team?
I think people are going in that direction, which I think personally is.
I think it's BS.
I think that is so dumb.
It's dumb.
And I think it's because nobody had done. I'll just be honest with you. I think people that share that opinion, like, oh, this, who cares? They're a 3-9 team. They have not spent any time looking into the Commanders, Dan Quinn, what they've changed. By the way, you realize they changed their entire kicking unit. Like they had the worst field goal kicking unit in the NFL. They got rid of everybody. Huh? Yeah, they got a new kicker, snapper, holder, all new tonight, all new. So, it's not like Washington was sitting around, coach, feeling sorry for themselves. They got Terry McLaurin back. He's been out for a bunch of games, and they got him back. And their running game is pretty decent. It's all right who they have run the ball there with. I don't know, man. Who's it going to say? Rodriguez Jr. I mean, I know their numbers weren't incredible, but Mariota is one of the more mobile guys in the NFL. It's just that he makes a lot of stupid mistakes. Well, what if he doesn't make those mistakes? And he didn't really. One interception, right? He had one, and that was a bad one. That's in the red zone. Good play by Greenlaw, the whole thing. But overall, I thought Mariota was pretty solid.
He was solid, and let's not forget, this team was in the dang NFC Championship a year ago.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's right.
And they still have that. That's still in their DNA. Same Absolutely. Staff. Granted, Jaden Daniels wasn't out on the field. Not only that, DMac, I was laughing about the rosters for the roster for the Commanders.
Yeah,
5 to 9 years ago, this is the best roster in the history of football.
Dude, they got some ball. Bobby Wagner is he?
Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, Terry McLaurin, Deebo Samuel.
What are we doing here?
These are household name guys in the National Football League for a long time. Marcus Mariota is a Heisman Trophy winner, first overall pick.
Yeah, then you got Biadish on the offensive line. You got
Laramie Tunsil with his bomb mask. Remember his fumigator bomb mask?
I do, but do you remember his 10 years in the NFL as one of the best tackles in the league too? Yes. Like he's got that too. And they got another guy there. Their offensive line is kind of stacked.
Yeah,
listen, man.
There's a reason that this game was circled. I mean, remember this? Before the season started?
Loss. We all had this as a loss at the beginning of the year.
No question.
All of us had this as a loss.
This game preseason felt like a trip the Broncos historically make to Baltimore and get smoked.
Yeah.
In preseason.
Yeah.
When we're looking at this.
Yep. How are people forgetting Von freaking Miller? Von is a shadow of himself. What did Von even do? Did he do anything today?
I did not notice him. He was on a milk carton in my eyes.
They do have as a starter Jacob Martin, who has kind of bounced around and went to Cherokee Trail High School just down the road.
No way.
Yeah, Jake Martin, who actually said in the pregame intros Cherokee Trail. And
no way. That's pretty cool.
Broncos in 2022. Now he's bounced around, but he's landed as a starter for them. So hey, props to the local kid. And I think it's fun that playing against the Broncos, he said Cherokee Trail rather than Temple University where he went. So I thought that was cool. I have no stats for Vaughn. Vaughn did not even show up on the stat sheet. Nothing for. Oh no, he did. He had one tackle. Sorry, my bad.
One tackle. Any pressures? He
had a quarterback hit. He had one quarterback hit. He had one tackle.
So he got a piece of Bo. A little touch of Bo.
I guess so. He let Bo know what was what. So, but I mean, whatever. Love Vaughn. He's just there not to get fined. Yeah, Vaughn's a great guy. He wants to come back and actually be a GM. And he did reach out to George Payton over the summer. But he even admitted that he wasn't the right fit for the Broncos now. You
said he
had,
wants to come back and be a GM?
Correct. That's what he wants to do in his career.
I didn't know that. I would not have had that on my bingo card.
He has said that many times, and he has had many conversations with George Paton. He wants to specifically come back and train for that with the Denver Broncos when he's done.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So that's what he wants to do. All right. I mean, we can go anywhere you want here. We can wrap it up. Do you have any thoughts here? We got a bunch of comments we can get to. What do you want to do?
DMac, I think these games, and I saw one there from our awesome loyal subscriber, listener, watcher, Bittersweets there about these games. I can't take them anymore, right? My heart's going to give way and this, that, or the other thing. I mean, so I think the question that I posed on Altitude TV on the Mile High postgame show there, is that mean that this team, it's a negative and this team just consistently plays down to its competition? Or do you look at it the other way and say, this team has found every type of way to win football games and it just wins games? Therefore, that bodes well for being in those situations in the postseason.
I think there's more parity in the NFL than ever. I thought you saw a lot of games this weekend that might have caught you by surprise. Certainly.
Ever heard of the Carolina Panthers?
I was just gonna bring them up, man. And you know what? Bryce Young looked pretty good today. And after that first drive by the Rams, I thought the Rams were going to win by 50. I was like, oh, the Panthers aren't even going to stop these guys. Well, Stafford, who had 2 turnovers, he had 2 turnovers on the entire year, and he had two interceptions on like 3 passes, one being a pick 6. So, hey, man, like there is nothing. There really aren't easy wins. Sometimes games may really go your way, and they may look easy, but there's no easy wins here. That's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So finding ways to win is unbelievable. And guess what? You got to get a little luck in there. I thought the Broncos got a little lucky, on a couple of calls and grounding when the ball's, 50 miles over a guy's head because the guy's
there was a holding call mixed in there late. They ended up scoring on that drive, but
I will tell you, and I think the broadcast did a good job pointing this out. Jonathan Cooper, bro, the one thing you can't do with a running quarterback is give up the edge. And Jonathan Cooper got sucked inside a couple of times when Mariota found the edge. You want me coach me up on that? Like that seems pretty basic.
I'll be honest, that in and of itself is probably the reason that we were even in the game against Cherry Creek this weekend on Saturday in the semifinals, is because I said very clearly to our defense, I demanded 2 things: that we have an edge player at all times and set the edge violently, maintain that outside leverage, and then we need an abrupt force player to run the alley to be able to make the play once you've filtered and kind of siphon the ball back inside. And so you got to do it at all times. And that's one thing that has been a hallmark of this Broncos defense. And I actually cite the Broncos defense when I'm talking to my own defense, that this team is so selfless and does such a great job setting the edge because they're a single high team. When you have a 1 high safety deal, you can't go inside because there aren't 2 safeties that can run downhill and make those plays. Okay, you've got to be able to play outside and set the edge to your backers who are then fitting from inside out. And that's exactly what typically the Broncos have done. Today was a little bit uncharacteristic that way, and it catches up to you, man. It leads to explosive plays when you allow a quarterback to get outside the pocket.
All right, I am still this week filling in for Brett Kane. I'm on at 6 o'clock in the morning. Do you have me beat tomorrow morning?
Say it one more time.
Do you have me beat tomorrow morning? I'm on at 6. Do you have me beat tomorrow morning?
I will be in the studio before you at 9 news. I think at 5:30.
That is awesome.
But I think my first hit's not until the 6 o'clock hour, so you've got me beat.
That's so funny. Oh, you're not till the 6 o'clock hour?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You will be actively on air before I will actively be on air.
Okay. I knew
I'll beat you up because you can show up looking like you can have your Colfax.
Yeah.
You can have your Colfax finest on, and I'm going to be dressed up, as if I'm going hanging out at Cherry Hills Country Club with my suit and tie on.
All right, and then 10 to noon with Raj, and then
Yes.
I'll be back on with Tyler and Scott from noon to 3, and we'll be
Crosstalk at 3.
We'll be reacting to this whole thing. I have one more thing for you.
Talk to me.
Two more things. First, and I'm going to get to Prime, but first, I did have some text messages with Dave Logan because I'm friends with Dave too.
Yeah.
And his overall reaction was he pointed out that they had 6 turnovers the whole year and they had 4 against you.
Yeah.
He pointed out what they had to do in the fourth quarter to actually beat you guys. And again, this was a game that came down to, how do you
4-yard line.
Right? So what do you want to say about boy, oh boy, what a game. And you would have had it gone for 2 too. That'd have been interesting. I
had a good call ready to go, and I was ready for it. What's funny is that they brought cover 0 on the just like the Broncos did.
Wow.
They brought cover 0 on a play where Titus, our quarterback Titus Heward, was throwing the football, and it was one of those deals where in high school football where there's no replay, he's throwing the ball, arm going forward, gets hit right as he's throwing we're short one player, and I called a route that I thought was quick enough. Got a little held up at the line of scrimmage, didn't win as quickly and as abruptly as I thought. And kudos to the defender for Cherry Creek. I called a route to free up, my most productive senior player, and that's Cash Spence. The guy kind of grabbed him, held him. I asked him, were you open? He goes, they held the bleep out of me, and,
right.
And so free player gets him, arm goes forward. The ball goes, I would say, slightly forward, but they called it a fumble, not an incomplete pass. We had one more shot at it, and that's how the game ended.
My man.
Had a great 2-point play called, like my chances to force overtime. And luckily you and I talked about what the high school overtime was the week before. So I was prepared for it this time, but never came down to it. So all I got to say is that Saturday, 1:00 at the Stutler Bowl, if you were there or if you were able to watch on NFHS, that was a good day overall for Mountain Vista and Ralston Valley coming down to a game-winning field goal in 5A. Dakota Ridge and Heritage of Littleton going down to the wire.
Amazing.
But what I would tell you, it's the Stutler Bowl, Cherry Creek, Dave Logan, and Valor Christian, what I think is a very competitive program that is on its way back to where I believe that the program I coach at should be. And it was a great day for high school football in the state of Colorado.
Oh, that's awesome, brother.
And
that's awesome.
I loved coaching that team. I'm so excited about the future, and I was not ready for it to be over. And I'll be honest, there have been years in my coaching career where the last game happens, you're like, okay, good. And this was not one of those. This was not one of those years. This was the exact opposite, where I was like, I still today feel like I'm getting ready for practice tomorrow, right? So it is what it is, but it was a lot of fun, man.
All right. Well said, Coach. Well said. Okay, one last thing. CU does lose. They finished 3-9.
Can I finish? Sorry, can I finish out my thought process before we get to that?
Sure.
Just on Cherry Creek.
Oh, of course.
I played against a Long Beach Poly team, and I told you about it. Mercedes Lewis was a quarterback on that team.
Yes.
He was a sophomore and I was a senior.
Yes.
And I think that I counted that year, they had 15 guys that were Division I commits. Cherry Creek's senior class has 11 Division I commits in it.
Wow.
That's arguably the best looking, most talented, well-oiled high school football teams I've ever seen with my own eyes. So it was, even to be in a contest with them was a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, Creek, I grew my kids went to Smoky Hill, which is in the Cherry Creek School District, and Creek was always a fascinating school. You always loved beating Creek if you ever could in anything, frankly. But it wasn't like a hatred or a jealousy against Creek, because how could you when they just do things the right way? Now I know there's a little buzz going on. I saw an article about high school sports and this, that, the other thing. And I really felt like, like somebody's being a baby New Year out there. I've known things have happened in high school sports for 20 years, coach, in this area. I mean, a long time. So
I read Kyle Newman's article today, came out the day after we lost. I'm like, I didn't know everybody's recruiting. I got to start recruiting, man, if that's apparently what's going on in this state. So anyway,
that gets me.
I'm saying that completely tongue in cheek.
Yes, that puts me on a different soapbox. One that maybe we stay away from that one tonight. Just say congratulations, everybody, for a great Saturday of football. Let's leave it there. Prime CU 3-9, competitive against Kansas State. It was. I mean, it was competitive, but I don't want to go too deep into the game. We'll have other time to do that. But I want you to interpret for me, if you possibly can, what the hell was Prime saying with this?
Bless you guys. You guys been kind, even considering the foolishness that you saw on the field and on the sideline this whole year. I appreciate you guys. I respect and admire your relationship. You don't have to go easy on me. I'm a big boy. I've been doing this for a long time. And when I win, I don't mind a clap. When I lose, I don't mind a boo. I played this game. I know this game like the back of my hand, and I love this game, and I love all the ups and downs, the ins and outs about it. And I'm built for every last bit of it. But if anybody's built to reconcile and to get this back on course, it's me. And I will do it if it's the last thing I do on earth. Trust me when I tell you. This was the Last Supper. God bless.
Okay, I think I get everything up to this was the Last Supper. Huh?
So the Last Supper happened before a crucifixion?
Uh-huh.
A death?
You found out Judas wasn't on your side at the Last Supper, by the way.
Peter doubted you a whole bunch?
Like, things got much worse.
Oh, no, Peter denied you and Thomas doubted you.
Yeah. Right.
And Judas just straight turned his back on you. So that's all happened.
All right. So this is the Last Supper. The next day didn't go so great. You know what I mean? Now went better a few days later.
Yeah, it was good.
It's good. Is that what you're referring to? And if this is the Last Supper, who are you? Did he just mean this is the last free meal? Meaning he was just did we just get lost in metaphors a little bit? Or
I'm going to go because of how clearly he was communicating prior to the Last Supper comment. I'm going to go with the fact that was just a Freudian slip of sorts.
Okay.
It was a metaphor mix-up.
Right. Meaning, I think what he meant to say is there have been guys on a free ride here, and that's over.
And that would line up with what his son in well-off media, Bucky, has leaked a couple times.
Okay.
And he's even mentioned that because Coach Prime was dealing with significant health issues this past offseason, that he had no idea the foolishness that was happening in Boulder with the staff. And I think that's there. Clearly, there's going to be some. I mean, Pat Shurmur, is he still employed?
Oh, of course not.
But is he today? Do we know if he's fired? Like,
normal
college football programs.
Yeah.
You finish up 3-9. And guess what happens? Like I finished 9-3 at Minnesota. We beat Wisconsin. The next day I got fired.
Right.
Not 3 days later.
Right.
Not 4 days later.
Right.
So that's the thing that's so different is that, like, why have we all not heard anything yet?
Well,
but I guess
I'm not trying to be a jerk here.
That Pat Shurmur, we didn't hear for weeks after he had already been demoted of his play calling duties, correct?
Right. Well, I don't know if it was a couple weeks, I think.
Week.
Yeah, week. Yeah, I think it was like that. Yeah.
Which is very unorthodox.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to give Prime the benefit of the doubt.
Is he coaching CU next year for every game of the 2026 season, in your opinion?
Yes, because
I think so too.
I don't think CU is going to pay him $33 million. I don't think he's going to pay CU $12 million. I think you can't go out like this. You really can't. You get a shot, probably one, to really do things over again. And I think he does get, I would give him the benefit of the doubt because what he had to deal with his bladder cancer in the spring was absolutely horrific. And that makes sense. I didn't know that about Well Off Media saying that, but that actually makes a lot of sense. It was clear when the season started, this thing was going to be a train wreck. You could just tell. And you know what? If I'm more convinced than ever with football, if you don't have it set up the right way before the season starts, good luck correcting it. I mean, there's hardly any time to do it when things are catastrophically wrong. And I've seen that with the Denver Broncos. And it's almost impossible to correct it. You would certainly know better than I. But that's the impression that I get. So
of those 11 Cherry Creek Division I committed players that I was talking about, how many of them do you think are committed to the flagship school in the state of Colorado?
Well, there's probably 0.
It is 0.
Yeah, that's disappointing.
How many Big 12 commits do you think there are?
Of 11?
4.
I don't know. There's 4. I was gonna say half. So 4.
Yep.
So are there
2
any
to K-State?
Yeah.
And then arguably the guy that I just couldn't believe was on a high school football field is Getchy, this tight end that's like 6'6.5". You mean to tell me the CU Buffs wouldn't love to have a 6'6.5" tight end that we could tackle, that had unbelievable ball skills? He looks like an NFL player to me. He's going to BYU.
We saw Terrence Ferguson catching passes. Now he went to Heritage, to your point.
Yep.
But we're just talking about, hey, Roger Rosengarten. We watch him block for Lamar Jackson. I mean, we can keep going. I look at Matt Russell's kid. I don't know.
My left tackle going to USC.
Yeah. I could keep going.
That needs to change. And Jim Moore Jr., if he's smart, he'll stake his claim on the state.
Yeah.
What I saw is that you want your offensive line, defensive ends, and tight end position to be. You need to recruit this state.
Well, something tells me you'll be hearing from Jim Mora early and often now that things are official as the coach for Valor. I'm gonna say, that is a funny situation. You really should be hearing from Prime too, frankly. In all honesty,
love to.
I mean, how are you not hearing from Prime?
I mean, the only thing I can tell you is I ain't hard to find, man.
And on that note, we'll leave it there. Great win for the Broncos. And we're just going to keep talking about it. This doesn't end. This just keeps going. We're like Wolf of Wall Street. It just keeps rolling, man. This thing doesn't end. I'm not going anywhere. I touched the mic and turned myself off.
This was the Last Supper. God bless.